The winner of the recent mapcore mapping contest has just been added to the game, and while getting new community maps is usually a cause for celebration, Grail found itself to be on the receiving end of a considerable amount of hate online, with posts such as "Grail is awful", "Grail is a visual mess", "Grail is neither good or fun", it's ass. Damn. With this video I wanna go really in depth over the points made both for and against Grail, and hopefully by the end we will come to a better understanding on if it's truly the worst Counter-Strike map ever released. So I think the first issue most players are familiar with are the numerous bugs and exploits this map had. I'm saying had since most of them already got fixed and it's basically just par for the course for any new map release. Nowadays, especially with people like Psych running around who keep finding all sorts of stuff even on official maps, I don't think these should affect your opinion of the map too much. Though its actual gameplay and design definitely should. In my personal experience playing this map, I found it to be quite fun. I love the unique mid dynamic with the two windows looking at each other, and I think that B main is superbly designed and feels great to play. Like, I wouldn't call it a favorite of mine, but it's definitely on par with the release versions of other well-beloved community maps. And seeing how many people have entirely opposite opinions on its layout, and how the mappers behind it are very actively updating it based on feedback, I think it has a lot of potential, and it just might be a bit too early to brush it off as bad. Though don't mistake me for a Grail glazer. Since early on in development, I've been quite concerned regarding its art direction, and I think critiques of its visuals are the most substantial ones right now. This would be like the third time I rant about this, but yeah. I get that it's supposed to be a Vim Park minigolf course thingamajig, and I'm all for it, but at the same time I feel like you can't just take a straight up fantasy castle, add a couple of halls and employee rooms and call it realistic. It leaves me with so many questions, like where do I even get the golf clubs? How do the people in this restaurant stay on their feet considering the whole building is at an angle? Is there a bathroom anywhere near B-side? I don't know, I never played minigolf. Maybe this place doesn't make a lot of sense and I'm just not educated enough. Perhaps I need to do a bit more research.
Alright, so I came down here to a local minigolf place to check how the situation is in real life, to make sure I'm not making any mistakes, I'm not overestimating or underestimating anything. And I gotta say that the place looked really nice. I'm kind of worried about, I think there's a birthday here right now, so I'm not really sure how I feel about all of the little girls running around me. But nonetheless, I gotta tell you that, yeah, I feel like there wouldn't be too much money to be made here to build a huge giant Disneyland castle. Even though there are some on YouTube that are pretty big, I'm still not sure that Grail could be affordable and a viable business.
So yeah, Grail is definitely unrealistic in its current state, and you can't tell me otherwise. Now, does this even matter is a different question entirely, and you can really take it into multiple different directions. You can argue that Counter-Strike, a game with guys in swimsuits carrying rainbow knives in the middle of a desert, isn't really supposed to be realistic. And I think that's a fair point. After all, some of the most popular community maps historically had little to do with realism and prioritized fun first. Also, you can say that even though nothing exactly like Grail exists in reality, it is something that could potentially be built, so it's fine. And I think that's a fair opinion as well. Some other officially featured community maps in the past were quite exaggerated in their art style as well, like Mutiny, that had terrorists arrive in a giant antique pirate ship, or Sub-Zero, that featured a super secret sci-fi spy base with toxic green goop and everything. But also I do think there's value in holding on to what's left of Counter-Strike's realism when making maps for it. Having them be both beautiful and plausible at the same time really gave me this nice sense of place and structure that I often miss when playing other games. And honestly, Grail kinda does that. You can notice some AC units poking out behind some of the roofs, or the metal scaffolding on the top of the castle suggesting that it's not an actual fantasy castle. I'd just love to see a bit more of it. Perhaps some trash cans and litter here and there, a sign or two, some benches, all of that would really do the map wonders in my opinion. And I think that's my big takeaway here. Instead of just complaining and saying that a map is bad, we should think of it more in terms of what would make it better, and perhaps even share some of those thoughts with the map makers. That I think will ultimately be more productive. And yeah, after all of this super in-depth analysis, I conclude that Grail is in fact not the worst map ever released. Jura clearly is.